There comes a moment in every life when motion becomes meaningless. The world continues, but you do not move with it. You scroll through 100 voices, 1,000 faces, and realize that none of them are speaking to you. Not really. It's 2025. The world hums faster than thought. Algorithms predict our desires before we name them. Every silence is filled. Every emptiness monetized. But beneath the noise, something ancient still waits. A question that refuses to die. How should I live, knowing that I will die? That question haunted a man 2,500 years ago. He wasn't born divine. He wasn't born enlightened. He was born curious, like you, like me. They called him Siddhartha. And when he left his palace and saw old age, sickness, and death, he didn't build temples or write scriptures. He began an experiment, a philosophical one. He asked, what if suffering is not destiny but design? What if freedom isn't something given, but something understood? Buddhism, at its root, is not a religion. It's a method, a set of practices designed to test reality, not to worship it, to observe, not to obey. In a time when attention itself is the rarest resource, perhaps the most radical act is to pay attention to your breath, to your hunger, to your fear, to your craving for permanence. This is not self-help. It is self-dissolution. It is the art of learning to vanish gracefully into what already is. What follows are 7 philosophical practices. They are not steps to enlightenment. They are experiments, tests of perception. The aim is not to escape life, but to see it so clearly that escape becomes unnecessary. Practice 1. The gratitude inquiry. We begin where scarcity ends. Every advertisement whispers the same gospel. You're not enough. You don't have enough. You must become something more, by something more, achieve something more. Scarcity is not just an economy. It's a metaphysics. It shapes how you see yourself, as a fragment among fragments, chasing completion. But the Buddha proposed a simple reversal. Instead of craving, observe. Instead of hoarding, receive. The monks of ancient India walked with empty bowls, not to beg, but to remember that existence itself is already a gift. Try this. Each morning, before touching a screen, name 3 things that arrived without your asking. The breath that keeps you here, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the presence of someone who once forgave you. Write them down. Offer them to the bowl of your attention. You'll feel ridiculous at first. The ego always does when it's losing. But slowly, a shift occurs. You stop being the center of lack and become the witness of abundance. This is not sentimental gratitude. It is philosophical. It dismantles the illusion that the world is withholding from you. It shows you that being has already given everything. Practice 2. Chore as contemplation. Before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. That line has been quoted to death, but few realize its depth. It's not about chores. It's about perception. The ordinary task is not an obstacle to awakening. It is awakening disguised as repetition. Once, during a difficult winter, I found myself paralyzed by thought. Too much philosophy, too little life. The sink overflowed. The laundry piled. So, I began sweeping slowly, deliberately, each stroke a breath, each breath a surrender. And I noticed something as the dust left the floor. A certain dust left the mind. To clean without resentment is to transcend the self. Because the self thrives on comparison, on wanting to be elsewhere, doing something more important. When you wash a dish, just wash the dish. When you fold a shirt, just fold the shirt. Not as a commandment, but as an inquiry. What is this moment when nothing is missing? In that inquiry, work becomes worship, and time, eternity wearing an apron. Practice 3. Breath as anchor. Of all the teachings, the simplest is the most radical. Observe the breath. It sounds absurd, too simple, too small, but that's the point. Truth hides where the mind refuses to look. In the plain, the obvious, the boring. The Anapanasati Sutta, the Buddha's discourse on mindfulness of breathing, is not a meditation manual. It's an epistemology. It's about knowing what can actually be known. When the mind races, the breath is already there. When anxiety storms, the breath remains unshaken. It has no opinion, no ambition, no memory. Try it. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Feel where the air begins. Feel where it leaves. Watch the rise and fall of your own impermanence. This is not relaxation. It's revelation. The breath reveals the truth that all things arise, exist, and pass away. Every inhale is birth. Every exhale, death. Every pause, the stillness between lifetimes. To follow the breath is to follow the universe in miniature, and to realize you have never been separate from it. Practice 4, the Metta Mirror. There is a cruelty that hides beneath intelligence. The more we understand the world, the harsher we become toward ourselves. Philosophy can sharpen the mind, but without compassion, it cuts the heart. The Buddha offered a counterpoint. Metta, loving kindness, not emotion, but practice, not self-love as indulgence, but self-acceptance as clarity. Stand before a mirror. Whisper the words, "May I be free from harm. May I dwell in peace." You may not believe them. That's fine. Belief is irrelevant. The practice is the proof. Do this for yourself. Then extend it to a friend, a stranger, an enemy, even the one who hurt you. You will feel resistance. The resistance is the ego. It cannot survive genuine empathy. To love in this way is to dismantle identity. It is to see through the illusion of me and you. Because compassion is not kindness. It is ontology. It says, there was never a division to begin with. When you wish freedom for another, you confess silently that there is no other. Practice 5, the Impermanence Stroll. We cling because we forget that everything dies. We suffer because we pretend it doesn't. Impermanence, enoughness, is the first truth that makes all others possible. Every philosopher has struggled against it. From Plato's eternal forms to Descartes' immortal soul. We crave permanence because we fear dissolution. But the Buddha did not resist impermanence. He called it liberation. Once, during my mother's illness, I walked the same path each day, past the same tree, the same puddle, the same flicker of sunlight. And yet, it was never the same. Each leaf changed color. Each shadow shifted. Each day, life rearranged itself in front of me, as if whispering, "See, nothing stays, but everything continues. Walk, observe the smallest change. A crack in a wall, a wilting flower, the smell of rain. Then ask, if all things pass, why not let go with grace?" Impermanence is not the loss of meaning. It is the end of illusion. It teaches us to participate in the flow rather than fight it. To love what is, precisely because it will vanish. Only what passes can be truly seen. Only what ends can be truly loved. Practice 6, the Evening Audit. Every day leaves a residue, words spoken in haste, intentions forgotten, moments unnoticed. The Buddha's ethics were never commandments. They were observations of cause and effect, a kind of moral physics. Every thought is a seed, every act a harvest. Before sleep, open the book of your day. Ask, what grew? What withered? What did I plant with my mind, my tongue, my hands? This is not confession. It is awareness. Guilt belongs to religion. Clarity belongs to philosophy. When you see how small actions ripple through the web of experience, you begin to take responsibility, not out of fear, but reverence. The world doesn't need more believers. It needs more observers. An observation, when honest, transforms. So tonight, look at your day the way a gardener looks at a field. What deserves to bloom tomorrow? What must be pulled out by the roots? And remember, karma is not cosmic punishment. It's logical consequence. The universe is not watching you. You're watching yourself. Practice 7, the Vow of Merit. All wisdom, if kept for oneself, turns sour. Even awakening can become vanity if not shared. The Buddha taught the Vow of Merit, a gesture of giving away whatever clarity you found. You dedicate it to the suffering world, to those who walk beside you unseen. To the stranger who will never know your name. It sounds poetic. It's not. It's metaphysical. When you wish peace for others, you stretch the boundaries of consciousness itself. You begin to experience the truth. The self is not a fortress, but a field. Light one candle, then another. Watch how the flame doesn't divide, it multiplies. Knowledge behaves the same. So does compassion. The Vow of Merit says, I do not awaken from the world. I awaken with it. In an age obsessed with individuality, this vow is rebellion. It says, my liberation is incomplete until yours is too. These 7 practices are not instructions. They are mirrors. Hold them to your life and see what reflects back. Gratitude teaches abundance without possession. Chores teach presence without pride. Breath teaches truth without theory. Metta teaches love without self. Impermanence teaches peace without permanence. Audit teaches responsibility without guilt. And the vow, the final vow, teaches unity without borders. This is Buddhism as philosophy, not as belief, not as ritual, but as direct perception. To live philosophically is to live as the Buddha lived, not above the world, but awake within it. The modern mind is drowning in information, but starving for wisdom. We have microscopes for matter, but none for meaning. Buddhism offers one, the mind observing itself. No prayers, no priests, just attention sharpened into insight. And that is freedom, because when you see clearly, you no longer need to control. When you understand impermanence, you no longer fear loss. And when you see that the boundary between you and all things was only ever an idea, compassion ceases to be a virtue. It becomes the only natural state. So close the book, blow out the candle. Let the smoke curl upward like thought dissolving into sky. You have nothing left to add, nothing left to seek. Only this moment, unowned, unrepeatable, perfectly enough. If this voice has stilled something in you, share it. Let it ripple outward. Subscribe if you want more silence dressed as words. Like not for the algorithm, but for the echo. So others may stumble upon stillness too. And until the next inquiry, breathe softly, walk lightly. And remember, you have always been enough.